Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for Consumer Focused Marketing and P3 Propane's webinar, How Propane Experts Can Help Your Business with Safety and Marketing. Here's what you can expect in this webinar. It'll be about a 20-minute webinar, so not too much time out of your day. Everyone is on mute right now, so if you have any questions as we go through the webinar, please enter them into the questions box on your screen, and we'll be happy to answer them at the end of the webinar discussion. So just getting started, my name is Michael Dobson, and I am an SEO and marketing manager for Consumer Focused Marketing. We're excited to finally do a joint webinar between Consumer Focused and P3 Propane. A lot of people don't know that we are the same company, so you get access to propane experts whether you are looking to improve your propane safety or marketing your services. So today we're joined by Sandri Energy from Massachusetts, our longtime partners in both propane safety as well as marketing. So we're just gonna do some introductions now for who we have joined with us today. First is from the P3 Propane team is Kyle Koerber, Chief Operating Officer for P3 Propane. Then we have Leslie Cernak, Vice President of Operations at Sandri Energy. And then Chris Cole, Propane Service Manager at Sandri Energy, who works closely with our P3 Propane team utilizing our propane compliance software. So I'm going to start off with asking some questions for Leslie about the marketing side of things. So Leslie, could you give a quick introduction about yourself as well as Sandri?
Sure thing, Michael. Yeah, I'm Vice President of Operations for Sandri Energy, and this includes propane, fuel oil, commercial fuels, HVAC, plumbing, and we have a clean burn waste division, waste oil division. I've been in the industry for just shy of 40 years, and I have a strong background in operations, compliance, and legal support.
Great. How do you go about positioning your marketing to accomplish your goals?
Well, one of the things that we do is we schedule an in-house meeting with the different divisions, and we get to talk about what each division needs in their specific group so that we have a well put together plan by the time we sit down with our marketing group. I think that the other thing that's really important is to vary our marketing with different media, so such as TV, radio, newspaper, and others. And I think also tracking the results is really important. Absolutely.
What are some tactics that have helped your company retain and also grow your customer base?
In addition to our regular advertising, we often run seasonal promotions. We also ask customers where they've heard of Sandri and why they signed up with us. So again, back to that whole tracking plan.
Okay. Do you find having experts in the fuel industry is useful?
Absolutely, without question. And I'm assuming that this is kind of geared toward the marketing end of things, but I'd rather work with a marketing company that has experience within the industry. They know the ins and outs. And similarly, I would rather work with an attorney who has experience in the industry because it saves time, money, energy, with me not having to train the attorney or train the marketing company what it is that I'm trying to accomplish.
Makes sense. I guess next question would be, what advice would you give to other marketers looking to get more involved in their marketing strategy?
I wrote down a few notes on this one. First, starting with determining goals and budget. That's always the good place to start. Be consistent and patient because it takes time. Bring key managers into the conversation. Choose the right marketing groups and follow up with metrics to determine if you're on track or need to make changes.
Makes sense. All right. Yeah, those are my questions for you, Leslie. I think that now we have Kyle. I'm going to pass it off to you to ask some questions to Chris about propane safety compliance.
Hi, Chris. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I think that this will be, thanks for participating. We hope it's going to be the best part of your day. Chris, could you give us a quick intro about your history in the industry and how you got into safety specifically?
Well, I've been in the propane industry for just about 28 years now. Been the propane service manager here at Sandri for the last 5. I do all the safety training for the propane side of it. Yeah, I'm also the CTEP certified instructor for the company, and follow up with all the P3 stuff that we do.
Gotcha. Was that so it's kind of been an incremental process that kind of 28, you kind of build on past experience.
Yeah, you start out obviously at the bottom, and you work up, and it just safety was always a big thing with me, and the more questions I raised, the more I got involved. The more I got involved, the more people liked it, and kind of look towards me for answers now. So that's the way I enjoy that.
Yeah, that's awesome. How does your field team utilize P3, and what's been their experience, moving to that to P3's mobile service?
Well, I think it was when we started doing that, it was one of the greatest things that we've done. Every tank set or appliance installation or line adding, they use it every time, and it's just so easy to document things with that P3, the mobile app, and one of the good things about the mobile app is as you're going down through it, inputting your information, and if you skip over a step or whatever, it won't let you finish out. So you end up making sure that you have to completely fill that out. And it also helps you with complacency. Sometimes we have a tendency to get complacent in the things we do, and it's one of the things you don't want to do with propane.
Yeah, we know how much our field team loves paperwork. So
yeah.
What about for the office side? What reports? What provides the most value for you as for reporting or management?
Well, when I go on the P3 and on the dashboard, right off the dashboard, it gives you a quick overview of things that you maybe need to attend to right off. Like we have a regulator report on our dashboard. We have photo documentation, some of the leak tests that may have been overlooked, and that's where I start. But digging deeper, I have I can look at the activity report, the field performance report for my guys, and which is always good. They're very good about the things they do, and they're very attentive to making sure everything's filled out right. But some of the other reports behind the scenes, we've got code and compliance, and like I said, the activity report, the safety inspection flash report. We do you get the system leak flash report, the photo documentation flash report. It's all these things that help you maintain all your P3 information. If you think you have something, you can just go on the dashboard and it tells you that you need to pay attention to some more of these things, and it's just very helpful. And and the guys that are using the mobile, it's so much easier than when we're doing the paperwork, and you you forgot the paperwork in the truck. Well, I'll remember it and I'll write it down when I get in the truck. And then your favorite song comes on the radio and you forget to write it down. So, with the tablet, you can carry it with you and, do all your information right then and there, and then take all the pictures that you need to take. And it's just a lot more convenient.
Yeah, I think that's, I think a lot of people are concerned about their field team migrating to this. And what the comment I've been making recently is like, look, this P3 is going to be as critical to your field team long term as a hammer is to a carpenter. How the heck are you going to, most people want to get this right. They understand there's personal liability involved if there's issues, and to have a hand with that is a positive thing. I think that it's generally goes smoother with the introduction with the field team than people might think. They're worried about that.
Yes, exactly. We're in a time now that everything needs to be documented, and if you can make the documentation easier, then it's going to get done correctly. And like you said, everybody's at risk now, all the way down to, the field guys all the way up through presidents and everything else. So, you have to make sure that your safety is up to speed and your documentation is all there. And I'll be honest with you with that, when we started using the tablets, it just made it so much easier, and we're more apt to follow through with things and make sure that it's all right.
Well, that's awesome, Chris. We really appreciate the relationship. We love working with y'all, and we're going to keep making this thing better and add even more value.
Yeah, and it's so easy to get a hold of you people when we have a question, and if you don't have the answer when we're on the phone, usually by the time we hang up the phone, I've got an email with the answer. So, it's a real easy and pleasurable experience working with the P3.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. Well, great. Well, I think that's all that I had. Mike, anything else on the agenda?
Not for me. Any other question? Any other comments from you guys, Leslie or Chris, about either marketing or propane compliance? I do have some questions in the chat that I can read off.
Well, I just want to add with the P3, even our delivery drivers have access to that the P3. So when they're out, they have an out of gas, and they can do the interruption service report right on their tablets now and everything. So again, we don't have to worry about losing paperwork, and it's already put in, and they don't have to worry about it. So, and along with they're able to do the meter creep test on those now. So it's just seems like every day something new is coming out.
Well, thanks. We're going to keep making this better, and that is one of the benefits that accrues to our clients is we don't charge for new functions we roll out. It just accrues your benefit, and we try to meet with all of our clients twice a year to step them through the new functionality and how they can implement that.
Good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we could probably open up for questions now. I'll take a look now to see if any have already come in. But if you do have any more questions now, please write them into the questions box and we'll get them answered. While we're waiting, I'll just put our contact info on the screen. This is either both Kyle and my own contact information. You can either reach out to us directly, or you can contact us via the Consumer Focus or P3 websites, consumerfocusmarketing.com or p3propane.com. You can find other methods of contacting us on there. We'd be happy to have any kind of marketing or propane safety consultation with you. Just let us know. So now we do have a couple questions that came in, and the first one is relating to the P3 side, propane side of things. Is, do you need to have a cellular service to use P3?
Yep. No, you don't need to. It works online or offline. I don't know, Chris, your team, they generally probably have coverage, or does that sometimes they
Well,
don't?
we do have, I won't say an extensive area, but there's a good part of our area that we don't have any coverage. But the good thing about it is you can put all the information down or into the tablet, and once you get back to the office where you have Wi-Fi or cell coverage, it'll upload and be gone. So
Right. Yeah, we try to make that a seamless experience. We do, you know, you're gonna have issues with coverage. I mean, it seems like 5G's made that worse, actually, for me on a personal level. So yeah, it's gonna work online or offline.
Nice. And then next question, can a propane marketer that is smaller in size still benefit from using the P3 system?
We have plenty of startups. We have a sliding scale, so if you are a startup, it's gonna it's a subscription service. So if you're just starting up, that subscription fee is gonna be lower. But absolutely, you should join P3 right away. I mean, don't let your start off on a good foot. Don't try to correct it after the fact. I mean, we have clients with I'm dealing with some larger companies. I mean, over 20,000 accounts. They have no idea if they have a good leak check on file for people or not. So don't let it get to that point. Start off right. It's you're not gonna have to go looking for all these forms. I mean, you need to be documenting safety inspections, runouts, regulator replacements, cylinder requalifications, cathodic inspections, crane inspections, meter creeps, duty to warn, bulk plants. All these you can do with P3. Otherwise, you're going to be tracking down all those forms, having to track all the reporting. Really, there's a lot to it.
Awesome. And then the last question, can Consumer Focus take over my current website and improve it? Absolutely. Consumer Focus is a full service marketing services company that can absolutely help with any website, whether it's creating, developing, designing a new website, or just maintaining an existing one. We offer a lot of different packages and ways to do any sort of marketing services that relate to your question as well as anything else. So we absolutely can help you. So if anybody has any interest in speaking about anything about their marketing services or a website, you can absolutely get in touch with us, and we would be happy to give you a consultation and discuss what your goals are and all those sorts of things.
I think I've seen you guys for the marketing side, Mike. It's really there's people that are getting overcharged, and so certainly get a quote from us. We can probably save you money, and there's people that are not dealing with the industry expert. So you're probably getting overcharged because it's probably taking too long to do the critical thinking about your value proposition. But having those are I see a lot of people joining from one of those two paths.
Yep, and it's definitely a lot easier for you guys that work at those companies because we speak the lingo, we're involved in the industry, so we're not asking a lot of questions about how to write about you and your customers. We're pretty much in tune with the questions, the challenges, the goals, the things that you're trying to accomplish. So we can absolutely help there. All right, I think that's the last of our questions. So yeah, so I think with that being all the questions, I think that concludes the webinar. Thank you to both Leslie and Chris from Sandri for being our guests this afternoon. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you everyone who joined today. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Chris. Thanks, Mike.